Hi guys, thank you for joining me. Today we are going to do our full body Pilates class using one of my favorite Pilates props, the ball, although mine definitely needs a bit of a pump up, but I'm sure it will be fine for today. Let's get straight into it with just some breaths. So ball can go to the side, finding a comfortable position. You can sit bottom on heels, cross-legged, whatever feels good for you. Squeezing through the waist, relaxing through the shoulders. Let's take some deep breaths. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Let's take 2 more breaths like this. Inhale. And exhale. Let's make this third breath a tiny bit bigger than the last 2. Inhale. And exhale. Let's tuck that chin towards the chest, lengthening through the back of the neck. And chin up towards the ceiling. Ear comes to one shoulder. And then over to the other side. Coming back to the center. Let's bring the bottom over to one side of our heels. Feet come out the side, crossing one hand over to that opposite knee and take a big reach over, stretching through the side of the body. Taking little pulses here, stretching a little bit further with each one. And let's come up and over to the other side. Big reach over, stretching through the side of the body. And release. Let's come to lie on our back. Now we're going to grab the ball and put the ball in between our shoulder blades. So widest part of the ball in between the shoulder blades, so that if you poke your shoulder blades out, it should be quite comfortable. You're on that widest part of the ball. Feet are on the mat, hip distance apart. Hands are behind the head, interlace the fingers, and then just make that head heavy in the hands, relaxing all the way over the ball, expanding through those ribs. Let's take a few breaths here just to enjoy this stretch. Alrighty, we're going to come into a set of ab curls. So being really aware of where our lumbar spine is. So at the moment, it's arched off the mat. We're going to use that lower part of the core to guide our ab curl as we press that lumbar spine into the mat. So deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, squeeze through that waist, C-shape through the spine, press the lumbar spine into the mat. We're coming up into our ab curl, chest towards thighs. We're trying to take as much pressure off that ball as we can. And then inhale, let's release all the way over the ball. Exhale, curling up. Inhale, releasing down. Can we go here for 8? Elbows are wide. 7. 6. Find that stretch through the spine. 4 more. 3. 2. Last one. And let's rest all the way over the ball and just taking a breath to reset. All right, second set. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, we are curling up and we're finding our ab curl position. Can we lift our right leg into tabletop and then our left leg to join it? So really feel that lumbar spine pressing into the mat. Can we extend our right leg out long? As we bring it back in, we're extending our left leg out long. Here we're trying to really keep that pressure off the ball. So in our full C-shape through the spine, in our ab curl position, alternating legs. Now if you want to go a little bit more challenging here, you can twist through the torso. So opposite elbow to the outside of opposite knee. Nice. Can we go here for 8, 7, 6, 5. Squeezing through the waist. 4 more. 3, 2, last one. Let's hug those knees into the chest, catching our breath. Alrighty, legs are back into tabletop, hands behind the head, elbows are nice and wide. Can we try to extend both legs out long at the same time and then hug them back in? Now, if you want to go a little bit gentler, just extend those legs higher, a little bit harder, extend them lower. We're squeezing through the waist and trying to keep that lumbar spine pressed onto the mat. Nice, so just bend and extend. Can we go for 8 more? 7, 6, 5, 4 more. 3, almost there. On our last one, can we extend the legs out long? I'm going to add a bit of a challenge here. Release those arms and then reach them towards the end of your mat. And can you pulse? Chest towards thighs. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3, 2, last one. And release. Well done. Let's take a stretch. You can lengthen those legs out long. You can lengthen those arms out long, head over the ball. Taking a few breaths here. Expanding through the ribs. And you can just move those arms to change that stretch through the chest and the shoulders. One more breath here. And release. Let's take that ball out from between our shoulder blades. And we're going to bring the ball in between our knees. So coming into a set of straight ab curls. But we've got our ball between our knees. We're going to squeeze and release onto the ball to get an extra little workout through our inner thighs. So hands come behind the head, interlace the fingers, elbows are wide, head is heavy in those hands. Deep inhale. As we exhale, let's curl up, feel that lumbar spine press into the mat. We're squeezing the ball, chest is lifted, inhale, release all the way down. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3, 2. Let's lift up on this last one. Can we hold our ab curl as we pulse those knees for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more. Holding the pressure on the ball on this last one. Can we hold that pressure as we pulse the chest for 8, 7, elbows are wide, 5, 4 more, 3, 2, final squeeze and release. Whew, well done. Let's bring those arms out to the side so they're in line with our shoulders. I'm just going to windscreen wipe at those knees. So roll them over to one side, turn the head away from the knees, and then swap them over to the other side, alternating here. If you want to go a little bit more with this stretch, you can come into your imprinted spine position, your legs come into tabletop, and it's the same thing here. We've just got our legs in tabletop, trying to use that ball to roll the top knee over the bottom knee as we do our spinal twist, pressing that opposite shoulder blade into the mat as we go either side. Getting that nice stretch through the spine. Let's go one more. Either way. And coming back to the center. Let's hold on to our knees, hug ourselves up into a tight little ball, squeezing the ball between the knees. Can we extend our arms and legs out long and then hug the knees back in towards our forehead? So extend and hug. Now the higher you extend the legs, the easier it's going to be on the core. The lower you extend the arms and leg, the harder. So just find your own range, tension on the ball. Can we go for 8 more? 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3, adjust my ball, 2, last one, and release. Well done. Grabbing the ball, we're going to place our feet back on the mat. Whew, let's catch our breath and move into our next ab exercise. So the ball's just resting on top of our pubic bone, and we're just going to rest our hands on top of the ball, really relax into the mat. We're going to take a deep inhale through the nose, and then as we exhale, we're going to come into our curl as we roll that ball as high as we can up onto our knees, and then a slow inhale to slowly roll the ball all the way down as our head and shoulders come back down to the mat. So exhale, curling up, inhale, rolling down. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, we're going to roll up and we're going to hold here and we're going to pulse. We're here for 8. So that last little part of the movement, rolling that ball as high up as you can. If you're finding the pressure a little bit too much through the neck, just rest one hand behind the head and go with the other hand. Let's go for 4 more. 3, 2, last one, and rolling all the way down. Whew. Let's catch our breath and then we'll do the second part of this one. All right, deep inhale through the nose, exhale, squeeze through the waist, we're rolling up as high as we can. Then we're going to extend our left arm out long, roll back onto that shoulder, and then lift that arm to tap, and then right. So alternating sides, I'm hitting the couch. So find that roll back and then that lift, squeezing through the waist. 5, 6, 1 more, either side, final little pulse, and roll all the way down. Have a rest, catching our breath. Alrighty, next time we're going to lift the hips up and place that ball underneath our lumbar spine. So find that crease where your bottom meets your back and then just rest that on the widest part of the ball. And then if you wiggle your hips side to side, it should feel quite comfortable. We've got our palms pressed into the mat, squeezing through the waist. Can we lift one leg into tabletop? Squeeze a little bit harder into that waist to lift the other leg into tabletop to join. Now this is too much pressure on your lumbar spine. You can hug the knees closer in towards your chest. That's going to feel a little bit nicer. So see how you go. Having the legs in tabletop is going to work your core a bit more. Now we're going to focus on our stability. So squeezing into the waist, relaxing through the neck. Can we try and hover one arm off the mat and then the other to join it? Nice. So just balancing here on the ball and squeezing through the waist to correct any tiny movements that might throw you off balance. If you're not feeling very steady, just try with one hand and then the other, or hovering those hands just off the mat. See how you go, steadying that breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Balancing here. Can we go for 4 more breaths? Last one. And let's hug those knees into the chest. Have a rest. Beautiful. Alrighty. Let's bring those legs back into tabletop. Palms are resting onto the mat. We're going to extend our right leg out long. As you bring it back in, we're going to extend the left. So one leg bends, one leg extends. Similarly, I'm getting tongue-tied like before, the higher you extend those legs, the easier it's going to be on the core. The lower, the harder it's going to be. So find your own range for today and focus on this alternation through the legs. If you want to make it a little bit harder, can we hover those arms off the mat? See how you go. Can we go here for 16, 15, 14, 13, 10, 8, 6, 4 more. Last one, and let's hug both knees into the chest. Have a rest, catching our breath. Whew. Alrighty, little stretch here. Can we bring our left foot onto the mat and then extend our right leg up long towards the ceiling? Option here to flex the foot just to get an extra stretch down the back of the legs. And we're exhaling into this pose. So it should be a nice stretch down the back of the leg. Try to relax through the shoulders and really release into the stretch. Having the ball underneath your hips will mean that you can grab your leg a lot easier than usual. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And swapping to the other side. Left leg lengthens up long, option to flex that foot. And then really exhaling into this stretch. One more breath here. My legs started to shake now. And release. Nicely done. Alrighty, we're going to keep the ball where it is for our first part of our pelvic curl exercise. So just rest your arms down onto the mat. We're going to start with just some pelvic tilt. So really feel that pelvis tilting over the ball. So tailbone is nice and heavy, bit of an arch through the spine, and then squeeze through the waist to press that lumbar spine into the ball. You'll feel your pubic bone come up higher than your hips, and that little rib to hip connection through your core will get a lot shorter. So just tilting forward and back over the ball, using that lower part of our core to really control that movement. It's just tilting over the ball. Couple more like this, working on that control. See if you can do it with your arms hovering off the mat. And let's come back into our neutral position. Alrighty, we're going to come into our pelvic curl. So tucking the pelvis under, lift the hips. We're going to take the pressure off the ball. You'll probably still have a bit of the ball stuck to your back, depending on how big the ball is. But just take the pressure off it as you lift the hips. Then we're going to relax back onto the ball and then lift the hips, squeezing through the glutes, pressing through those hips. So press down and up. We're here for 16, warming up those glutes. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3, 2. On our last one, can we lift our hips and we're holding that pressure off the ball. So you've got your palms if you need them. Can we try and lift one leg into tabletop? Now you'll know if you sink back onto the ball, try and keep the pressure off the ball and back down and to the other. So if someone was to whack the ball from underneath you, they should be able to pop it out from underneath you because you haven't got any pressure on it. Nice, alternating here. Squeezing through the waist, relaxing through the neck. Can we go 2 more? Either side, finishing off 1 more. Either side, and let's relax back onto the ball. Give those hips a wiggle. Let's hug those knees into the chest, just releasing through that lumbar spine. Beautiful. Alrighty, let's take that ball out from underneath our hips, lift the ball up. I'm going to bring the ball in between our knees. So ball is in between our knees. We're going to come up into a set of ab curls. So hands behind the head, elbows nice and wide. Coming back to our core. So deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, can we curl up and can we hold here? We're going to pulse our knees. We're here for 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3. On our last one, can we squeeze the ball? We're going to pulse our chest 1 inch higher and then release all the way down. Beautiful. Alrighty, keep the ball where it is. So we're going to bring our arms down by our side for our second part of our pelvic curl. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, tuck the pelvis under. We're lifting the hips and we're rolling up to rest just in between those shoulder blades. Take a deep inhale at the top. and then exhale, we are melting down, one vertebrae at a time, all the way back to our neutral spine position. Exhale, tuck the pelvis under. We are rolling the hips up, and then we are melting down all the way back to our starting position. Can we add a big squeeze of that ball as we roll up, and then a gentle release as we come back down? Coming only as far as in between those shoulder blades. And we're really thinking about being nice and steady through that core. So shortening that distance between the bottom of the rib and the top of our hip. Let's go for 4 more. 3, 2. We're going to roll up and hold on this last one. We're squeezing through the waist. Can we squeeze and release the ball as hard as we can? We're here for 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3, 2, final squeeze. We're going to hold the pressure on the ball. Can we drop those hips just 2 inches, lifting them up? Let's go for 16. Squeezing as hard as you can into the glutes. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Feeling this through the glutes. 7, 6, 5 more, 3. On our last one, can we lift the hips up, take a deep inhale, and then exhale, we are melting down, one vertebrae at a time, all the way back to our starting position. Quick release of the hips, gentle rock side to side. We have one more little bit of our pelvic curl, just for a bit of an extra challenge. But we'll catch our breath first. All right, feet come back onto the mat, back into our starting position, neutral spine. Deep inhale to prepare, and then exhale, tuck the pelvis under, lifting the hips, and we're going to roll up to rest just in between those shoulder blades. We are squeezing through the waist, put that pressure on the ball. Exhale, extend our right leg out long, and then step it back. 2, alternating here. 3, 4, 5. So really focus on that tension through the waist here. So nice and steady, minimizing any movement as we alternate sides. Can we go one more to either side? Both feet touch down, taking that inhale, and then exhale, rock down. One vertebrae at a time, all the way back down. And let's just release through those hips, rocking side to side. Well done. All right, let's rock ourselves up to sitting. Grab that ball. We're going to come into some chest. So I'm sitting bottom on heels. If that doesn't feel good for you, you can sit cross-legged, legs out in front. Just have that nice straight spine for this next one. We're going to have our elbows coming to the widest part of the ball, and then our palms pressing together. This is going to work our arms and our chest. So relax through the shoulders, lengthen through the spine, and we've got those elbows in line with our shoulders. Squeezing through the waist. Can we exhale, squeeze the ball as hard as you can in between those elbows like you want to pop it, and then inhale, release. We're here for 16. 15, my shoulder's popping, I hope you can't hear that. 14, 13, 12, 10, 8, 6, 5 more, 3. On our last one, we're going to hold the pressure as hard as we can on that ball. So big squeeze here. And we're going to lift and lower those elbows. Can we go here for 16, 15, 13, 11, 9, 7, 5 more, 3. Last one, can we hold it here halfway? Now I'm going to squeeze the ball and then pulse it up. So it's a squeeze and press. 3, 4, 5, 6, starting to burn through that chest now, 7. We have 8 more, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3, 2, last one, we're going to hold it up. Can we take an inhale through the nose? And then exhale, squeeze and press. Can we do one more? Inhale. And then exhale, biggest squeeze you've got. And then press and release. Woo. Can really feel that through the chest and arms. Let's release through our chest. So just a nice stretch here. So you can open those arms up. Really let your chest open. Feel that arch through the spine. Eye gaze up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to hold one hand on each opposite shoulder. Pull the shoulder blades apart, C shape through the spine, and then roll yourself forward. Then from here, just pull one elbow forward and then the other, finding that stretch down the side of our spine. Let's swap to the other side. So arms open up, cross your opposite arm on top, rolling forward, and then alternating here. And release. Let's stretch through our glute. So coming to sitting, tuck one leg underneath you, and then we're going to step our opposite foot over. So my right foot's on the outside of my left knee. Try to drop that right tailbone down. So you got your bum bone onto the mat. Opposite elbow to the outside of your knee. We are lengthening up and then we are twisting. Try to rotate through the spine. Stretch through that glute, look towards the back of the room. Exhaling a little bit further into this stretch. And release. Let's untangle, swap to the other side. Drop both hip bones down onto the mat, lengthening up, opposite elbow. We're coming up towards the ceiling and then rotating through that spine to look towards the back of the room. One more breath here. And release. Let's come into our butterfly pose. So our soles of the feet are together. We're holding onto those ankles. Try to press those knees as close as you can down towards the mat. We're going to lengthen up. And then we're going to fold forward. Try to drive those elbows into your inner thighs. If you can, right at the end, make that head heavy to help you really sink into this stretch. One more breath here. Opening up through those hips, stretching through those inner thighs. And release. We are all done. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, let me know what you thought of the Pilates ball and of the class. Tell me what you want to see in the next class, whether we want to go a little bit harder or easier. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you in the next video.